Welcome back to the General Hospital Spoilers channel. Today, we'll delve into the unraveling mental state of Dante Falconeri, a once steadfast detective whose world is now tilting dangerously off balance. For years, Dante Falconeri held the line between duty and morality. A devoted father, a seasoned cop, and a man who knew the cost of carrying burdens too long, Dante once seemed like a man who had conquered his demons. But recent events have shattered that illusion, and now those same demons are clawing their way back to the surface, angrier, louder, and far more dangerous than before. It began quietly. Subtle changes in his demeanor, snappish retorts, and a visible edge in his interactions, especially with those closest to him. At first, it was easy to dismiss. After all, his teenage son Rocco was found unconscious from alcohol poisoning after the PCU bonfire, a trauma no parent is ever prepared to endure. But what came next was not grief. It was rage. In the days that followed, Dante's behavior spiraled into something darker. His fury wasn't simply directed at the situation, it was aimed at individuals. Gio Palmieri, the bright and good-natured young man who had become entangled in the night's events, found himself the focus of Dante's wrath. Without hesitation or reflection, Dante publicly berated Gio for not stepping in to help Rocco. It was as though years of trust, understanding, and nuance vanished, leaving behind a blunt weapon of blame. And it didn't stop with Gio. Danny Morgan, a boy Dante once cradled under his protective wing, was next. The idea that Dante would even consider pressing manslaughter charges against Danny is more than shocking, it's terrifying. For years, Dante acted as a father figure to Danny, especially during his long relationship with Sam McCall. But that history seemed to mean nothing to the man now pacing the precinct halls, casting accusatory glances and threatening legal action like a man hunting ghosts. Then came the inexplicable rupture with Jason Morgan, a man whose shadowy past Dante always eyed with caution, but whose actions he had come to respect in the co-parenting and protective ecosystem of Port Charles. Seemingly overnight, Dante turned on him too, slinging blame for Rocco's condition as if Jason had handed the boy a drink himself. The psychological underpinnings of Dante's collapse aren't hard to trace. Years ago, Dante went deep undercover, immersing himself in criminal circles so dangerous and morally bankrupt that they left permanent scars. Those years away from Port Charles weren't just time on the job, they were Dante's descent into the underworld. What came back wasn't just a cop, it was a man broken by the evil he had to become to survive. Eventually, Anna Devane saw the toll it had taken. She arranged for Dante's admission into a WSB facility to deal with the trauma, and for a while, it seemed he had returned stronger. But PTSD is not something that disappears, it waits, dormant, triggered by shock, guilt, or grief. And now, it has found the perfect storm in Rocco's near death and a truth that Dante has yet to uncover, a truth that will likely push him to the brink. Because unbeknownst to Dante, Gio isn't just a young man with poor judgment at a party. He is Dante's biological son. Brooklyn Quartermain has kept this secret buried for years. Whether out of shame, fear, or a desire to protect Gio's sense of self, She never told Dante about the child they created. And now, that truth is about to surface. When it does, the damage could be irreversible. Already volatile, Dante is likely to interpret this revelation not as a bittersweet opportunity to bond with a son he never knew, but as yet another betrayal stacked upon a mountain of perceived wrongs. His fury toward Gio, a boy he unknowingly lashed out at, will become a tormenting source of guilt. His past actions, his instincts, his profession, and even his understanding of who he is will collapse under the weight of this news. Dante's PTSD, already fraying the edges of his sanity, could implode. This isn't simply a man grieving or feeling betrayed, this is someone losing his grip on the difference between justice and vengeance. Those closest to him, like Olivia and Sonny, may be the first to see the signs, but will they act fast enough? There's growing concern among those in his circle. Anna, having witnessed this decline before, may again step in, urging Dante to return to professional treatment, a retreat that could save his life and protect those around him. Counseling, therapy, even readmittance to the WSB facility must be on the table if there is to be any hope of recovery. The alternative is far more dire. In his current state, Dante is not just a danger to himself, he's a risk to the very community he has sworn to protect. His instincts, once honed by reason and empathy, are now clouded by rage and trauma. The scenario in which Dante snaps is no longer hypothetical. If provoked, or if cornered emotionally, he may draw a weapon. On someone he loves. On himself. Port Charles has seen its share of darkness, but what's happening to Dante Falconeri may be one of the most quietly devastating tragedies in recent memory. The steady disintegration of a good man, a hero, a father, a protector, under the crushing weight of old trauma and new revelations is a warning to all. PTSD doesn't disappear with time. It festers, it grows in silence, and it can consume even the strongest among us. For now, the only hope lies in those who still love him. Those who can reach through the storm of his unraveling mind and remind Dante that he is still here, still human, and still capable of healing, but only if he chooses the path toward help. The clock is ticking, and Port Charles can only hope that Dante hears the call before it's too late.